At what point does Ryan Clark stop talking? At what point does Ryan Clark get held accountable for the crap that comes out of his mouth? At what point does ESPN do something about what Ryan Clark continues to try to do? At what point do they axe this dude and send him packing? Because every time we blink, Ryan Clark is apologizing again. How many times does a guy get to apologize for his BS before something's done about it? You can't constantly apologize. You can't constantly be reckless in behavior. The man is reckless, notoriously reckless. He's a massive race baiter, and it gets really, really tiring. Now, I'm talking about the Kyren Lacy situation this time. And the Kyrie Lacy situation is obviously a massive tragedy. A young man took his life, took his own life. An older man died in a head on collision in a car accident. And we have individuals out there that would spread information without actually doing their homework. Now, Kyren Lacy's attorney promised Kyren Lacy he would get him off. He said that. Now, maybe the reason I can't answer why Kyren Lacy decided to end his own life. It's a tragedy. I wish he hadn't. And it's just very, very unfortunate. But what the attorney did recently was he played the okey doke. And with the okey doke, he presented a video showing a video clip that showed Kyren Lacy 72 yards behind the accident. Except that he left out some things. And in doing so, when I saw that video, I was like, oh my God, this kid had nothing to do with it. This kid had nothing to do with it. And this is an absolute disgrace and an absolute tragedy, and someone should be held accountable. But then, and this is based on what the attorney, again, I am not a journalist who's working for ESPN. I have a podcast, and I hadn't even dropped the video. Did I drop some comments on Twitter, XYZ? Sure, I did. I saw that video. I was like, oh my God, this is horrifying. But then the Louisiana police came out, and it was the state police or whoever, came out with their video. They came out with their investigation. They came out with their body cam footage. And the body cam footage was very, very, very clear. Let's talk about all this. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Shomot. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. We talk facts over feelings here. And this is what we do. And if we offend you, I'm sorry. But it is what it is. You should have all information before you make decisions on things. And the reason I say that is because I have been personally the victim of an accident in which I was not even hit by that person, but that person caused me to correct or avoid being T-boned. So I had to pull a hard left. This is from personal experience. Big freaking pickup truck is going through about to bust through a red light, and I have to correct. He literally got into my lane. I had to bust the left. He crushes the brakes, but he would have T-boned me, and I busted a hard left. I ended up hitting a pole. Thankfully, I didn't die. I wasn't injured. God, thankfully. Thankfully, no car coming the other direction came and smashed into me. But because there was no camera footage, after the guy apologized to me on the scene, when the police officer showed up, his entire story shifted. Oh, I didn't do that. Mind you, why are you apologizing to me if you didn't do anything? Now, in this situation here, for which you've seen, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to play the video, but you have video showing Kyren Lacy behind the accident scene. But there's other videos showing where he's flying by a tractor trailer, multiple cars, and at the and he goes back into the lane, hitting his brakes pretty hard. And that is when the accident takes place, because what was shown on camera by the Louisiana State Police showed that Kyren Lacy is the reason that the cars come in the other direction because he was in the wrong lane passing people at 100 miles per hour. Well, one car veered off to the right off the road, and the car in front, the car behind that car, rather than veering off to the right, veered off to the left, and that caused the head-on collision in which the older gentleman passed away from the accident, as well as injuries from other people. And then what makes it look even worse is that then you see this green Charger come around and literally circle around the accident scene. Now, it's not bad enough that it's not bad enough that maybe you are the reason that that accident happened, but for you as an individual to then drive around it and leave, that's pretty low. Whether you're the responsible party or not, normal people, if I just saw a car accident in front of me that was a head-on collision, I'm pulling my car over and I'm running to help these people, hoping that I can help these people. That's what a normal person does. He didn't do that. And then when you see the dash cam, and every witness on the dash cam says that green Charger caused the entire accident. He was flying by everybody, and that lady shifted her course because he was in her lane. She probably freaked out, seeing this car coming at 100 miles an hour at her, and he pumps his brakes hard and shifts back over, makes it look like he didn't have anything to do with it, when the reality is, because he was flying at 100 miles an hour and the car coming in the opposite direction sees him, they freak out, as any normal person would, and they swerve away to avoid hitting that car. Because they don't know what he's doing, or if he's going to pull back into his lane. They have no idea. You can cover 72 yards going 100 miles an hour in a second and a half. It's that much. So the lawyer did his job. He painted this picture, and he makes it look like Kyren Lacy had nothing to do with it. And Ryan Clark goes on his diatribe after an NFL game and gives his opinion, because this is what Ryan Clark does. Ryan Clark makes every conversation racial. This shit wasn't racial. The truck driver he passed, who said the green Charger caused it, was a black man. No one knew that the guy in the green Charger was a black man. Nobody knew that. He's going 100 miles an hour. But the truck driver said he was the reason for the accident. Every person there said the green Charger. Every person. This wasn't something that the police. Do I think the one police officer who went to the older black man's house that we saw on video pressing in to say the guy in the green Charger? I think that guy was out of line, that cop? Yes. That cop should be dealt with, because you cannot direct a witness to say stuff. You cannot direct them to say, I need you to put on here the guy in the green Charger. No, you can't do that. And that looks really bad. That police officer should absolutely be be punished. Hell, maybe lose his job. But that officer didn't cause the car accident. That officer did not cause the car accident. I don't know if that was the same officer that was at the scene. I have no idea. But I can tell you this. Kyren Lacy caused that accident. Kyren Lacy is the reason that older gentleman died. And Kyren Lacy, because he couldn't deal with the guilt of what he caused, and he saw himself facing a long time in prison, he decided to end his own life. And that's a tragedy. Rather than own up and be responsible and be accountable for what he did. He still had his day in court. He would have had it. He could have gone to trial. He could have trusted a jury to get him to say he's not guilty. He didn't do that. He saw his football playing days ending. Mind you, Henry Ruggs has just gotten out of jail. I guarantee you, Henry Ruggs is on some football team next year. He'll be in some NFL team next year. So it's not completely out of the question that you could recover and come back from this, because the NFL only cares if you can play football. But he sees all this happening, and I'm sure he was going through a ton of stuff emotionally. But Ryan Clark, I want to play for you the Ryan Clark video. Now, this is Ryan Clark after the Jags Chiefs game this past week, and he had to do this because you know what? It's very important for him to be the activist. That's what he's become, an activist, a fake one, but an activist. He's seemingly wrong every time. It's notorious with this guy now. But this is an NFL broadcast, and this situation has literally nothing to do with the NFL. Zero to do with the NFL. But he does this.
Yes, please. Yes. I beg your pardon. I did want to clear space for this.
1 second, please.
This is important.
Yes, guys, Kyren Lacy was supposed to be in the NFL. Kyren Lacy was accused of something and being investigated for something that he didn't do, and he died having to live with the guilt and the consequences of a guilty man knowing he was innocent. It recently was discovered that he was 72 yards away from the crash, that police and state policemen tried to coerce and doctor and use ways to manipulate statements that put this young man behind bars. They changed his joy, they changed his life, and eventually he took his own life. This was supposed to be a career, but at least he was supposed to be here. At some point throughout his career, I would expect to have said his name. So I'm going to say his name tonight.
Amen.
Kyren Lacy was innocent. Kyren Lacy should be here with us. Nothing will ever repair or replace the pain that their parents, that his parents have to feel and his loved ones have to feel. But we could say his name. There were so many stations that ran the fact that he was being investigated. So I wanted to make sure here with Scott, we could say that he was an innocent man and at least know that he has that as he rests.
You and I talked about this earlier tonight, and I'll just share with them what I share with you. I can't recall ever seeing something that made me react viscerally to the point that I felt like my hands were trembling to think that there's video that shows that this is not at all what happened. And that young man took his life. And so I will not say any more. It's your thoughts here. I just wanted to echo.
Thank you very much.
No, and my apologies for forgetting that, because this is a more important thing than we're talking about tonight. Ryan Clark, I appreciate it.
Now, I wish Scott Van Pelt wouldn't have opened his mouth. He should have just left it alone. Leave that mountain for Ryan Clark to climb himself. But again, Scott Van Pelt didn't actually say what Ryan Clark said. Ryan Clark went above and beyond. He wanted to make his feelings heard. He wanted to let everybody know what he was thinking, because that's what Ryan Clark does. This is the third time in 3 months that Ryan Clark has had to apologize. The third time in 3 months. You can't make it up. And this is another example as to why, when you know somebody in a situation and you're on TV, you probably should remove yourself. You probably shouldn't speak on it, because you're coming from a place of emotion, because you know the person. But two, on top of that, this is Ryan Clark, and he has to make it a black-white thing, and as he always does. But this is now Ryan Clark apologizing for the third time in 3 months for behavior. The Robert Griffin thing, where he freaking went off and said what he had to say about Robert Griffin, the third. The Peter Schrager thing on the air, where he questioned Peter Schrager because he never played football, played in the NFL. And then this thing now. But this is his apology now that we get to listen to right here.
I've never really had much trouble expressing anything. This has been more difficult because I know that people are hurting, right? 2 lives have been lost. Herman Hall, a man who spent his life in service of other, and Kyren Lacy. He's just a young man who I wish I could tell how much he had to live for. My heart absolutely breaks for both of them, their families, and their loved ones. On Monday night's Sports Center, I addressed the horrific car crash that took Mr. Hall's life, and also the subsequent tragic events that led to the death of Kyren Lacy. In full transparency, y'all, I knew Kyren Lacy personally, but nothing matters to me more than the truth. always strive to do my best to mix authenticity with the most complete and up-to-date information available. I failed to do that on Monday night based on the subsequent evidence that has been released by the Louisiana State Police Department. I set the highest standards of fairness and, most importantly, righteousness in my work. I didn't meet that standard. But since I've spoken to Kyren's representation at length, and I've also reached out to a representative at the state police office just to have a conversation. They informed me this morning that because it's ongoing litigation, they actually can't divulge anything else. It's always important to me that I gather all factual and important information to provide the complete story. That's a responsibility that I do not take lightly. And when discussed in real time on Monday evening, I failed to do so. And for that, I apologize.
So he says he tries to do stuff. He never seems to try to do stuff. So that's why I call him on the bullshit. He never seems to strive to get it right. He always seems to come off the cuff from an emotional space, not from a space of logic and and truth. Like there's always some level of an issue when it comes to Ryan Clark. There's always some level of issue when it comes to truth with Ryan Clark, over and over and over again. It's constant. It's constant, bro. Again, this man has been apologizing for 3 straight months. 3 straight months. Stop apologizing, bro. Start being normal. Start doing your job. Stop being an asshole. It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. And you know what? I do want to show the damn video because that video needs to come out. It's been seen by many, but I want to post this because Ryan Clark, who is on ESPN, wants to create a narrative and then has to backpedal every damn time. I'm just so tired of it. This is why ESPN has become so hard for me to put on. I don't watch ESPN anymore. I don't watch First Take anymore. I don't watch any of these shows anymore because they suck. Because they're all driven one direction. It's a nonstop racial dynamic that is exhausting. What we have here is a very, very simple situation. A guy going 100 miles an hour and his recklessness caused a car accident. And then, bluntly, like a piece of shit, he drove around it rather than stop to help. That's a character issue. And I'm sure he was scared. I do not care. No, why didn't Ryan Clark call out that shit? Why didn't Ryan Clark say, yo, why didn't this kid stop? No one ever said he was in the accident. Why didn't he stop and help these people while everybody else did? And before we wrap this thing up with this video, I do feel what Scott Van Pelt was saying. It got me mad. When I saw that video, it got me mad. Because I'm like, a 22-year-old kid's dead, or whatever old he was, because his emotions, he didn't have the emotional maturity to say, my attorney's going to take care of this. He's going to get me. I didn't do this. I'm completely innocent of all of this. And I felt that. And then I saw the video by the Louisiana State Police. And now I see why he may have done what he did, because he didn't feel like he was innocent. He knew he did something wrong. He knew his actions led to the death of somebody else. He knew all these things. And then on top of that, rather than stop and trying to render aid to somebody, he takes off. That's foul, man. That is foul. There are people that will stop to help someone with a spare tire on the side of the road. I have run over to cars that were flipped over. I have. Like, I have rendered aid to people in accidents before. The thought that you're literally there and the accident is here and you don't stop to help? There's something wrong with you, dude. Unfortunately. But let's play this video right here. Let me see. I haven't watched this. This is a lengthy version of it right here.
I'm Colonel Robert Hodges, Superintendent of Louisiana State Police. You're about to view a critical incident briefing video that is intended to give the community a better understanding of the incident that occurred. The video is inclusive of evidence related to the incident, which may include 911 calls, body-worn camera footage, and other relevant information. As this comprehensive investigation develops, our understanding of the incident may change as additional evidence is collected, analyzed, and reviewed. The department's ability to investigate.
All right, let's get past this. Let me find the
Responsibility.
On
okay.
Tuesday, December 17th, 2024, Louisiana State Police Troop C began investigating a fatal crash that occurred on LA 20 near Perez Lane and Chack Bay, located in Lafourche Parish.
So from what you'll see at some point was that Kyren Lacy's car was going this direction, but he was in this lane passing a bunch of people, and then basically pulls behind somebody, and then one car going this way peels off here, the other one peels off this way, instead of peeling off this direction, peels this way, and it looked like it was an older woman who was driving, and that's when there was a head-on collision between this car and a car coming this direction. And then he comes around, accidents just happened, literally, and he rolls around it, but we'll show it.
This investigative briefing has been prepared to provide clarification of the facts and an accurate depiction of the and the subsequent line with 3 p.m. and 52 seconds communications.
Yes, let's go.
According to the video timestamp, at 12:03 p.m. and 52 seconds, a green Dodge Charger is seen traveling south in the opposing lane on LA 20 at a high rate of speed, passing 3 passenger vehicles and 1 loaded 18-wheeler in a designated no passing zone with a 40-mile-per-hour posted speed limit. As the green Dodge Charger returns to the southbound lane, aggressive braking and engine deceleration are immediately followed by a crash that can be heard on the surveillance footage.
You literally heard that. You see that right there? You literally heard it right here. He's flying around that
Are immediately surveillance footage.
You see that you got the big pickup, the big tractor over here. He passed that one. He passes this one. He passes this one. He's flying. He gets behind that guy. So now he's braking because now there's a car coming another direction. So he passed all these cars. All these cars right here. He passed this car here. He passed this one here. He passed this one here. He brakes behind this one. And you hear literally within 1 second a smash. Literally 1 second on that camera. He caused the accident because the people coming the other direction were scared to death that this guy going 100 miles an hour is going to ram right into them. So the first one was in slow-mo. This was in real time. You see how fast he was going? That's reckless.
According to the video.
Now, this is the video that the attorney shows. This is the video we all saw because we don't see that cars this direction a car turned off to avoid him, and then the other one turned here.
Video timestamp at 12:03 p.m. and 54 seconds. A portion of the crash can be seen as it occurs. Moments before the crash, the gold pickup truck abruptly veers out of the northbound lane into a business, while the green Charger.
See here, look at this. Look at this. Wouldn't you stop? Again, wouldn't you stop?
Charger is approaching in the same lane. Immediately after the crash occurred, the green Charger was observed on surveillance video and by witnesses traveling through the crash scene and continues north on LA 20, failing to stop.
Everybody else stopped except for him.
At the same time, all other vehicles remain at the scene to provide assistance.
Now, some people will say, oh, well, he didn't cause that. Yeah, he did. He's in the wrong lane going 100 miles an hour, and cars coming the other direction are like, holy shit. Have you ever had a car coming at you 100 miles an hour? Did you stay driving in that lane or did you move out the way somehow? I've had it happen. I've been on these two-way lanes in Alabama and nearly had that shit happen to me. Yo, you move out the way. And the fact that he drove right through it, like, how could you watch that and sit here and not say that there's something wrong with this picture? And you're going to jump on ESPN and give a lecture about this shit? Everybody else stopped.
The briefing will now transition to the trooper's response and investigation.
Now, this is the body cam footage that you're going to see where it's like everyone says he caused it.
At 12 o'clock p.m., a two-vehicle injury crash with road blockage was dispatched to Louisiana State Police Troop C via the 911 dispatch system. The responding trooper arrived on the scene at 12:07 p.m. and was immediately met by numerous witnesses who described a green Charger driving aggressively and causing the crash. The video has been edited for time purposes.
102, be advised, we got total road blockage on LA 20.
If you get a chance, can you advise code of injury?
Civil.
It's a natural instinct to turn, and then she had no.
He drove around this right here. On the side of this white car, he drove around it. This thing is blocking the entire intersection. He drives around it. Intersection. Blocking the entire roadway. He drives around it.
Head on.
Did you see the green Charger flying that way?
You heard it. You see the green Charger flying that way. This is the truck driver right here.
A green Charger that going that way?
The green Charger.
That's the green Charger that
caused all this.
SRT8, he caused all of it.
Three people. A green Charger caused all this. Three people just said it right there.
When the pass the cars way back there, sir.
The green Charger collided with these cars?
He went right between.
He went around that truck, okay?
He was passing up with
her right now, and she had no choice. If she hits the pole, she gets this.
How are the injuries? What
she
are they?
got a broken ankle.
Them two are complaining about back injuries and then stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was on the phone when
two back injuries, one broken ankle?
Yeah,
I'm not exactly. I just told him not to move. You know what I'm saying?
You said something about a green Charger. Who told you something about a green Charger?
I'm down 18 wheel right there, sir.
Okay, so you said.
Look at this accident. But Ryan Clark wants to talk.
You saw it?
I saw it.
What did you see happen?
He went to pass him. I say when he went to pass me cars back there around around the curve. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hey, he come down, right? When he come down, I got Mr. He had his brother that he was taken to the emergency room, to the hospital or something like that, chemo or something like that. But I got his number also to verify this, because he was a car that was in front of her. When that green Charger came, he went caused this whole big traffic, so everybody went to hitting brakes because the Charger, I thought he was hitting the gold truck head on. So he jammed on brakes. She was coming down. They was going that way. When I saw...
Which way was the Charger going? The Charger
going this way.
Charger's going this way, okay.
She was coming this way.
Okay.
They was going this way also. Mr. jammed on brakes. She went to dodge Mr. And that's when
he
came on.
I was watching. I was about to gas
hit him, on the left side. She come over and hit him.
hit him.
Which 18 wheel were you driving?
The red one. Right there.
So the Charger, I guess, passed you up.
The Charger D-line, it was cars behind me because I'm taking my time.
And the Charger was passing all these cars in this
everybody.
lane.
And
so almost hit this one head on.
No, he almost hit this. It was a gold truck. I got his number right here. That's why I took his number and his name.
Almost hit the gold truck head on.
Yeah, that's his number and phone number and name.
So the gold truck, what did the gold truck do?
The gold truck in his area right here.
The gold truck slams on his brakes.
Slams on brakes to stop the Charger. The Charger swerves back in.
Okay.
And cut somebody else off, whoever was behind them.
Okay.
But then they slammed on, the Charger, he swerved in front of them. They slammed on brakes. And by this time, he slips through, right?
Okay.
As he slips through, she's coming. She like to round the back of the gold truck. That's what I'm saying.
She almost hit the back of Miss.
Yeah, Miss.
Was Miss truck hit?
No. He was missed.
Okay. So the truck, Mr. He slammed on it.
In other words, it was right up. The gold truck was right up there.
Right. Yeah. He slams on his brakes to avoid the Charger.
Yeah.
This car,
what? Cuts that car off, if I'm not mistaken.
So what does this car do? It just swerves out the way to avoid.
To avoid him.
So
because I was watching it too.
She turned the wrong way. Yeah. Instead of going towards the post, she turned this way. Yeah.
So basically, she turned left because the gold truck turned right, and she wanted to avoid slamming into the gold truck. And that's what caused this whole thing. And it was all because the green Charger is coming the other direction at 100 miles per hour. That's what happened. I mean, that's what happens here. That makes you responsible. That makes you, to me, liable. That makes that you're the reason this all happened, and everyone here is saying it.
Okay, so she turned this way, and then this car was just coming.
Yeah,
I got you.
I got you. Yeah. And then the Charger came around. That's the number for the guy that was in the gold truck.
Okay.
Charger passed in between the
the
mailbox
Charger
and
stopped. I took that because he was leaving, but
Okay.
And see what happened, the Charger had stopped.
Is a green Charger?
Yeah, but then when he seen what happened, he almost hit me because he came right here and kept going. He's the only one the only one that jumped out of the traffic. Everybody else turned around went the other way. He jumped out of traffic, eased through here, and went on down the road.
Okay.
Okay. Look, I know it's hurting right now, but do you think you could just tell me briefly what happened, or do you remember?
I just know the truck was stopping on brakes. The other car was trying to pass the other car. I was trying to dodge by not hitting them by coming around.
Okay. You remember how fast you were going?
The speed limit.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
While on scene, the investigating trooper obtained written.
All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Fact of the matter is, unfortunately, Kyren Lacy was responsible for this accident. And unfortunately, we now have media members who don't actually get full information before running their mouth. And there are people that are here making ridiculous comments here. Drivers are supposed for any change in the road. The lady who caused the crash was speeding, driving too close. What, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So, again, it's very clear how he caused the accident. It's very clear. And his first phone call was to an attorney. Who would call an attorney? They're saying his dad is an attorney. Well, his dad, I'm sure he's calling his attorney. His dad is his attorney. He wasn't calling his dad as his dad. He's calling his dad as his lawyer, more than likely. But hey, if you feel that going 100 miles an hour the wrong direction is the right thing to do, and you think that driving around a head-on collision, literally happening a second in front of you, is the right thing to do, then you are an absolute fool. And I'm seeing comments like this. You're an absolute fool. I'm sure you'd feel the exact same way if it was your grandma or your grandpa who got killed in that car accident. I'm sure you would. You wouldn't, because the only reason you care is because you think this is being done to a black kid. And the reality was, the main guy saying the green Charger was a black man. So clearly, it ain't got nothing to do with race for that man. It has to do with the fact that he saw what happened. He was there. You weren't. Ryan Clark wasn't. And in my opinion, ESPN needs to handle their business and end this Ryan Clark nightmare. Because every time he talks, bullshit comes out. So, y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. This is Rudy's Rant, powered by Come On Out the Podcast. Come on now.